Hello, welcome YouTube. And so in last lecture we covered how we can play around with replica set, and in this lecture we are going to learn about the object known as deployment. So uh, in the production normally we create a deployment file and use the deployment file to update our existing application or do some rollouts or rollback in case if something goes wrong. So let's see that in action. So let me clear my screen. So we have one deployment file. Let me add that. So here it is. So one and same thing, API version. I am saying app/v1. So deployment is supported in this API version, and kind is deployment. Earlier it was replica set, and in first lecture we created a pod, so kind was pod. In meta we are saying we are naming our deployment as nginx deployment. This label is I am saying app nginx. So that is not so much mandatory in this case, but let's say we are naming our deployment or labeling our deployment with the app key and value of that app key is nginx. And then spec comes. In nginx deployment also you are mentioning how many replicas of particular pod you want. So currently I'm saying I want 3 replicas. So you will see the difference between replica set and the deployment in the later phase. And here it is. So I'm saying I want 3 replicas, and selector, the same selector. Whenever you find a label app nginx, so go for that. Make the 3 replicas of that. And in template we are templating our pod. So how our pod should look like. So in our pod, every pod should be labeled as app nginx, so that our selector will come to know, okay, this is the set of pods I need to manage. So whenever I see a pod with the label app nginx, so it is coming under me. I need to take care of that. And in spec we are mentioning the how many containers we want inside that pod. So currently I want only one one container inside my pod, and I'm naming that container as nginx. And image I'm saying my nginx image latest, and this container port I want to listen on port number 80 on my container port. So that's it. So okay, so let's deploy it. Let me clear my screen. kubectl kubectl then create -f deployment. So as soon as I hit this command, one deployment is created. So let me check with kubectl get. Earlier I was using get replica set, so now I will use deployment. So see this. So deployment our desired state is 3, current state is 3, up to date 1, available 1. So this is the same as previous up to this point. This is same as replica set, so nothing fancy here is happening as of now. So every deployment creates one replica set in the backend. If you don't believe me, let's check this out. So see, this deployment created one replica set in the backend with some random number, and this replica set is taking care of the number of pods we are having. And you can see this pod followed by deployment name, naming convention of this pod. This is our deployment name, this is our, this full is our replica set name, and this is our random number to get unique name for a pod. So this is it. So let me describe my replicas, this deployment. Describe deployment, then followed by deployment name. If I am having only one deployment, then it is explaining me this only. But if you are having 2 3 deployment, it will describe all the deployment. So let's see, our deployment name is this, namespace is default. Label we have given our deployment label as app equal to nginx, but this is main. So our deployment is governing the things which are having selector app equal to nginx. So in replica we are saying 3 replicas we want. No, completely we are on the equal state. So no action needs to be taken as of now because desired state is matching our current state. So this is a strategy. So by default, a deployment uses a rollout strategy. So in rollout strategy, I want to enlighten you on this topic. In rollout strategy, what happens? Let's say we are having 10 pods. So if you want to update your application, how you're gonna do that? So you will come up with the new image of your application. In rolling update strategy, how the things are happening, it is killing one pod, coming up with other pod, then second pod coming up with the new version, and slowly it is killing 10 pod, and whenever every pod is killed, it is coming up with a new pod. So it is known as a rolling update strategy. So there are other strategy also in which all the pods are killed at once, then your updated version of application is coming up. So that is not recommended. We recommend, or Kubernetes is always recommending rolling update in their strategy. So this is the pod template. So every pod which it is going to spin up, it will put label app equal to nginx on that. And this is our port which we want to listen. And see this, it is created event. It is created one replica set from a deployment controller. Earlier it was in replica set there was some other controller. This is a deployment controller. So it is saying scaled up replica set. So it has spinned up one replica set. So let us delete one pod. kubectl get pods. Okay, kubectl delete pod, then followed by a pod name. Okay, so we have deleted one pod, get pods. Okay, still it is running another pod. Why? Because describe deploy. So deploy is a shortcut, but as you can see, deployment has nothing to do with that killing of pod. As you can see, no event has been changed because that thing is taken care by replica set. So if we will see the kubectl get replica set, kubectl describe replica set. So as you can see, that pod which we have killed is taken care by replica set, not by our deployment. Okay, so this is the concept which you need to take care of. In the backend, deployment is creating one replica set. So let us do one thing. So let's check with this thing. Okay, let me go to nginx docker. So let me check this, which version we are having. We went for the latest version. So let's say you want to um, update your nginx, but in this case we are downgrading actually. Okay, so this is the latest one. So I want to go for, let's say, 1.16.1. So what I will do, ls vim deployment. So instead of latest, what I will do is 1.16.1. Okay, so how you can make changes? You need to use kubectl apply command. Apply. Okay, so same, apply -f, then followed by my file name. So I am making changes to the existing deployment. So as soon as apply this warning, kubectl apply, either kubectl create apply deployments. Okay, so this is some warning which is coming up. So deployment nginx is, it is, so last time when we created, it is saying deployment created. But now if we are saying it or we are configuring it, it is saying deployment configured. So it has configured a deployment with a new image. So as soon as uh, kubectl rollout, so we can see our rollout status because we have rolled out one new image. So let's see. So uh, so here is the help which you can take: kubectl rollout status deployment followed by your deployment name, nginx deployment. Okay, deployment. Okay, so it is saying rolled out successfully. So if I am saying kubectl describe pods, so so it has created one new replica set. So let me check describe deployment nginx deployment. Okay, so in event it is creating one new replica set. So as you can see, 1 minute ago it has started creating another replica set. So in the event which I was telling you, that it is not going to put down all the pod at once then come up with the all pods. So in this replica set which it has created, it is scaling up replica set nginx. So earlier replica set was this random number. So now this replica set to 1. So earlier our replica set was to 3, then it is coming up with 1. Then this new replica set is coming up with 1 pod, then our deployment is killing 1 pod from last replica set, then it is bringing up one another pod. So both are on 2 as of now. So now it is killing 1 pod from previous replica set, then it is coming up with final pod in the replica set and killed all the pods in the previous replica set. So this is how a rolling out update works. It won't kill all the pods at one time. So this is the thing which you can see in get rs. So let's see the replica set. So as I was saying, the deployment creates the replica set. So in this case we have created one new replica set instead of new deployment is same, but it is configured with different image. If we are configuring with deployment with different image, it is going to create one new replica set. So old replica set has not been deleted yet, but its pods are deleted. You can see the desired state has come to 0, but kubernetes in the backend still maintaining our replica set, not deleting it. We will see why it is doing that in the later phase. kubectl, let's describe this, describe pods. So if I'm seeing these pod now, the pod names, IP, whole thing has been changed, but this label is same as of previous. So the thing which I want to tell you is, where is image? See this image. Earlier it was nginx latest, and now it is nginx 1.6.1. So if you want to update your application, just supply a normal image with it, and you are up and running with this. So why kubernetes or deployment maintain the previous replica set, not deleted it? Reason being, you can roll out your update. Let's say you find that your this application set is not working out and you want to go to the previous version. So there is no such you can do. So let's say kubectl, see this help. If I'm typing this kubectl rollout, so it is automatically telling me means what option I have. So I have history, so I can see the history of a deployment. So let me check history, deployment followed by deployment name, nginx deployment. kubectl rollout. Deployment extension nginx deployment not found. Let me check with this what happened here. Deployment nginx. Okay, so deployment nginx, right? So no need to give the slash, just pass that deployment name. So we can see, so our version of application has changed, so it is maintaining two version of our application. So if I'll put one another image, then it will become on version 3. So if you want to roll out to the previous stage, then simply you can, what you do, kubectl rollout. So you will get help out of here, undo a previous rollout. So the rollout which we are at current stage, it will roll out to the previous stage. So let me kubectl rollout undo deployment nginx deployment. Okay, so kubectl get pods. So see, it is uh, it is killing the, it is killing the current pods and going back to the previous stage. So a proof of this, we can see that no replica set has been created because we are just moving to the previous stage. So if we will see the kubectl get replica set, so this is the proof of this. So now the previous replica set now move to this desired state 3 and current is 3, and now our this one, the current deployment or the current replica set has gone to 0. So we have moved to the back stage or the previous stage. That's why every replica set is not deleted by deployment, it is still there, just you need, so that in case something goes wrong, you can move here and there and maintain your application. So see how simple is that with the deployments. And this is a rollout deployment. So many people are using that. So if Facebook is using that, I guess. So if they are rolling out some new feature, if you are connected to a new pod, you will get some feature and other people are not getting that. This is because of the rollout type of deployment. Because if you are going to hit that pod on which latest version of application is there, then you are going to get that and other people won't. So this is the, this is all about the deployment. So see you in the next lecture. So we have not done, we have not exposed our application to outside the world. Whatever is happening is inside the Kubernetes cluster. So in this next lecture, we are going to see the services and see how services work and help us in exposing our application to the world. So stay tuned and keep learning. Thanks for watching this.